Okay, here we go. Let's see, that's a terrible screen. That's not what I'm going to be looking at. I will look at this one. Okay, good enough. Back that so you can see my feet. And we should be good. Okay, welcome back to our second live stream class. As usual, I should just figure in like a half-hour total delay for these kinds of shenanigans. I need to change my screen on here so I can see feedback as this is coming in. View. Better. Don't know if I can see comments if I do this right. Great. Okay, so we are going to get started. I'll just sort of repeat if you weren't here for the last week's class. One of the things that we want to do with this is during our warm-up phase, I'm going to give sort of 2 levels of complexity in the warm-up. So if you're sort of a beginner at this and you're not understanding what is going on or the movement's a little too complex, just do the basic movement. And if you're comfortable with what we're doing, then try sort of the full movement and as it adjusts in complexity. As standard recommendations, don't worry. I mean, challenge yourself, but don't go so far that you can't do the action. Right? So the whole slow, smooth is fast. It doesn't do you any good to be flailing around and trying to get your weapon out here fast if your body mechanics aren't there. So especially on the warm-up, this is really more about mechanics than it is about a physical workout. So don't challenge yourself. I may go sort of quickly to sort of show how the movement is, but I'll try to do a lot of the reps slowly. Later, once this thing goes live, then you can go sort of full speed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. There's kind of a theme for as we work our way out to technique and whatnot, but we'll get into that as we go on a little bit further. Okay, get started. There's a delay on this, so I'm just. Okay, even with the. We're going to start out with reverse triangle footwork. So we're going to start out here, and we're going to, actually I'm going to move away from the blade on this one. And we'll just, I use a stick, and we'll be using both hands, but we'll do a single stick, and some transitions as part of this warm-up. We'll be using each end of it. So to start off with, we are going to start with our 3-4 motion. So 3 and 4 and 3 and 4, right? Obviously, if we do this together, this is an upward figure 8. So 3, transition down to your hip load. 4, transition down to low. 3, 4, make sure your edge alignment is on so that you're leading with these knuckles as you're coming up, down, and then 4 as you come back across. 3 and 4 as you're coming through, okay? Add the footwork into this. I'm not spending massive amounts of time with this. I'm assuming that you have these elements already, but I'm going to step offline with my 3 in the reverse triangle. I'm going to come up with my number 3 here. I'm going to, and as I do, you'll notice I turn my hips. I'm driving forward with this one. I'm going to hit my side step here, turn into my 4. Okay. For right now, we're just going to come right back to our shoulder load as we do this. Okay. Repeat that one. We'll drop that one down. 3. Hit the side step. 4 for the transition. Okay. Then drop it. 3, 4. 3, 4. And 3, 4. Okay, now we'll do the other side. All right, so we're just going to reverse that. We're going to step off to my right here. 3, again, hip square, going to this direction, turn. Here, hit my side step, come up with my 4. You'll notice that I'm not always actually facing the front with this. That's intentional. I'm actually quartering. I hit my 3 here, I've off-angled, my target is here, and then I've come back and I'm aimed again back to the center. If I was always facing the front, it would be 3, 4, and I'm intentionally not doing that. I'm working around the target here. 3, 4, transition to the other side here, drop that down, 3, 4. Drop, 3, 4, 3, 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay. Keep going. If you're sort of new at this, keep going with that basic position. Now I'm going to add in just, it's just 3, 4, 2, so you should already have this as a basic mechanic. Okay, 3, 4, reload the hip here, and I want this to be a power backhand. Okay, so this is a double force backhand, using the right hand here, and coming back to here. Again, 3, 4, I don't want to just stay here and swing. My hips are not reloaded. 3, 4, reload the hips. Power back. Okay, drop that down, do that on the left side with the left hand. 3, 4, reload the hips, and back. Drop, 3, 4, reload, and back. 3, 4, reload, and back. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. You notice that it's 3, 4, 2. I'm doing a lateral backhand on that. That can be the topper. Again, a 2 is a zone, right? A 2 is anything coming from this angle. And so in this case, I'm finishing with that lateral. 3, 4, 2. 3, 4, 2. 3, 4, 2. 3, 4, 4, 4. Okay, first motion, first of the warm-up. See if there's any questions. No. Okay, so next one to start off with, instead of, normally we often go step left, hit right. This one's going to be a little different. So we're going to, I'm now hitting lateral footwork here. So I'm going to actually step right, and I'm going to do a 4-wall walk to the inside here. So we're going to step right, I'm going to transition, I hit my side step. This is my 4 walls block, right? And all this is number 1. So 1 here. And here, I'm going to use this as a reinforcing tool back here. It's in the, the basic mechanics of it, but usually I'm not going to stick my hand up here. If you're thinking of this as blade-centric, things we get, there's a lot of different versions of the way you reinforce blocks. This one is usually the way the student doesn't do it, or this one, or this one, or this one. It's going to come off here. Okay, so 3, I'm reinforcing, making a triangle with my arms here. Not really, sorry. So wall block, I'm going to drop my tip, and I'm going to go power backhand. Okay, so wall block, 2. Wall block, 2. Wall block, right? Hit my side step, turn that over, readjust. My hips are going towards, well, if you're into analog clocks, 130, but diagonally facing that way at the end of it, just with that particular combination. So here, got my wall block in, turn, drop my foot, use that to drive my hip. I'm not using a full takeoff footwork there. That is in here to drive that. In actual application, I'd probably have some additional footwork. Okay, so that's going to the right. We're going to go to the left now. Here, I'm going to sidestep, turn, hit my four-wall block, turn that over a little bit, drop the tip, and back. Okay, once again, same side. Here, something's coming in from this side, wall block here, and out. That time I left my heel out. I don't have to drop my heel, but it's transitioning and taking my hips that way for my power generation. Okay, back to the right hand. Here, lateral, 1, 2. Okay, come back up, switch hands. Lateral, back. Lateral, back. Okay, now for the added complexity of the motion. So move up just so it's a little bit more visible here. Okay, so I hit my side step. I've done my backhand. Okay, and part of this is sort of a coordination exercise. I'm going to actually step back to the center here. I'm going to hit my full transition to the other side as I do my repeat number 2. So this combination is just 1, 2, 2, right? So 1, 2, 2. So 1, right? 1, 1. Oops, 1 more. 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. So it's like you went back to your basic fundamental of 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. If you want, you can do that double force on both examples as I'm going through there. I can go 1, 2, come back up here, readjust, get my then sidestepping, generate power. 2, and you can reuse that other hand for double force again. So wall block, power backhand, power circular 2. Okay, so come back here, lateral footwork. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Go to the other side here. So 1, 2, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Okay, now we're going to alternate sides. Going back to the right. 1, 2, 2. Whoops, unfootwork. 1, 2, 2. Switch. Here. 1, 2, 2. Yeah, fancy with my grip exchange. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Here. 1. Oops. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Okay, just give you an idea. That isn't the most practical fighting application in the world, but what I really want you to think about as you're going through that is those, sort of footwork and your power generation. A lot of times we do that as a basic 1, 2, repeat 2, and I'm just trying to challenge you to combine that in a way that you're moving back and forth. And really, what we just did there isn't any different than 1, 2, 2 in terms of its basic footwork idea. But I often try to use these pieces to sort of challenge you to, get a slightly different combination with that. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, make sure I don't forget one here. Nope. Okay. So 3 and 4, we're going to use that forward triangle here. Make sure I can do it. So I'm going to go back at the angle here. And, let's see. That one. Nope, actually let's reverse that. We're going to do the same thing that we did on the lateral. So I'm going to step back here. I'm going to go 3. So 3 and 4. So 3. Come off of here. 4. 3. So I hit this, right? Back angle here. 3, 4. Here. And then I want to get. They come up a little closer. So back angle 3 here. This is kind of a contrada motion as I move the outside. 3 here, turn it over, and I'm going to transition my hips here to 4 here, come back to here, and transition back to the wall. Okay, so got that down here. 3, 4. And back up here, draw back to this side step. Once again, 3 here. And this I'm getting my head out of the way. I'm usually figuring this as either a pick, if the number 1's coming off of this way and I'm zoning out, I'm picking the hand, making sure my head's back, so I've got that wave out footwork there. I'm going wave out here, transition, coming, that can be a really quick transition here, here, and then power back again. So 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. That question come in. Go. 3, 4, 1. Okay, going back to the left side now. Drop now with the left hand. 3, 4. Okay, and 1. Here, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. Okay, alternate right and left. And I'm going to come up a little bit from here. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. And I'm going lateral and not here. 3, 4. Okay, 3, 4, 1. So we've hit the different reverse triangle, lateral footwork, and forward triangle as we came through those different pieces. Let's see here. Cool. Okay. Next one, let's hit some diamond footwork. And so diamond footwork, I'm going to grab some aids, but this is our reverse triangle and our forward triangle combined. And we're going to, right now, use the, well, actually, let's go to fluid reverse triangle, okay? So, I'll get the aids on. Okay, so that should be visible. So you've got our reverse triangle here. I'm going to not walk over it, but I just want it there visible in the front for right now. So when I go, and we don't actually need this right now, so go ahead and set that aside. So this will be just a footwork exercise on fluid triangle. A lot of times in the beginning when we did this, especially if you're here from Peking University, it was a really simple sort of move across and around through here. And there's been a couple of different people talking about the different variations that you can do with this one. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're basically exaggerating the footwork in this. So I'm going to step forward left here. Think about this as a rising knee. Okay, I'm going to come across. I'm going to point it in the direction that top line goes. I'm going to step across, trace that with my left foot, and come back. Okay? Okay, step the other way. Left, rising knee, bring that across, trace it, and back. And lift, across, and back. Okay, reverse that. Okay. Now we're going to go every other one. We'll go three in one way. Whoops. Okay, other direction. The way I shift direction is I'll step back, I'll wave out a little bit, and switch directions. Switch. And switch directions. Okay, so quick little piece on fluid reverse triangle. Now we go to fluid forward triangle. Okay, we're going to start at the apex of the triangle, step back, wave out, lift this leg, step across, raise, forward. Step back, unweighted leg, lift, step across, lift, forward. Lift, lift, and back. Lift, lift, and back. Okay, switch directions, come back to here, be together. Okay, fluid forward triangle. Now we're going to put that together into the hourglass. Okay, up a little bit. Now it's a triangle. Okay, so now we're going to go and make these fluid. I didn't include all the top and the bottom too. What we're now doing is shuffling. So I'm going to start off here at the bottom left hand of the hourglass. Okay, I'm going to step with my right foot. Be stepping to the middle. Foot replacement. Step to the top corner. Okay, on knee, transition across the top. Come to the left. Here, step back to the middle. Foot replacement. Step back to the bottom right edge. Step across, and again. 1, 2, across, 1, 2, across, 1, 2, across, 1, 2. One of the nice things about hourglass is it really puts in the shuffle. It and the expanded diamond really help that. Now we're going to reverse that to the other direction, across, here. Add the shuffle there. Switch directions, back, forward. And we'll switch directions one more time here, shuffle back, here, shuffle forward, across the top. And good. Okay, so now we've used the diamond, or the diamond there to sort of combine your forward triangle and reverse triangle. Like 30 seconds, grab some water, and come on back. Okay. Got your water? Okay. So from here, we are going to go into, I guess application isn't quite the right word. Oh, yeah. So application isn't quite the right word, but sort of the more functional part of the class. I try to do every class. I try to give a true fighting technique into this. So the one we're going to work on here, I'm just going to do a quick review of Abednego or retic motions. Okay, so we'll go over the basic form. If you're in Paquita University, you've seen this one before, but we're going to, I think this is the one that we use. I can't remember. I'll give you mine. It's a simple 4 count, and so we're going to start off. Actually, let's and don't go really hard with this right now. I want you to warm up your wrist. If you haven't done a lot of this, this is going to be rough on the wrist. Okay, so don't over-exaggerate this one. And depending where you sort of are on your wrist flexibility, don't go full power with these. This is kind of a good way to mess things up if you don't go full power. Okay, so little rotation, and I'm not going hard. I'm not putting any body into this one right now. I'm just going flat, horizontal, trying to warm up my wrist. And right now, I'm actually keeping this one pretty flat. I'm not really I'm trying to hit the temple here in terms of that right now. I'm just trying to warm up the wrist. Okay, now I'm going to come down over the side over here. And this is what this looks like as we're going here. And again, sort of feel where the limits of that are as you go back and forth. Okay, high. Go ahead and push that a little bit more. If you're thinking about targeting here, now you can start thinking about, oh, I'm going to hit to the temple here, right? As you sort of think about where your targets might be. So these are called Abednego or retic, or if you want to use an English term for it, jamming strikes as you're coming in here. These are not edge of blade strikes. If I am doing this, I'm literally hitting with the flat of the blade. So there's an argument that there is more functionality for this one for stick-based weapons. At the same time, there are absolutely times when it's okay to smack someone with the side of the sword if that is of use. So never say no. Okay, and then over to the side, and again just push this a little bit more. And again, you can see with this, right? This is flat to flat as I go back and forth. Okay, then switch to the left, same thing, nice and light. Here, no footwork on this one yet. Warm that up. I'm not really showing the low line horizontal on this one, just a high line and the bolt. Okay, and then we'll go to the side, right, and go this way. Okay, or this way. Oops, okay, a little more intensity there. Again, this is a great way to injure your wrist, so be careful with that. Right, and again, I'm not doing like a full, trying to get my full application to it. I'm just trying to warm up my wrist and push my wrist flexibility a little bit there. And also, you'll notice I'm letting my arm rotate around as opposed to trying to keep this perfectly straight. Okay, a little bit more on the vertical line here. Okay, good. Okay, so let's look at application. Again, I'll be using this now because it differentiates between sort of the blade use edge and when you're using the flat of the blade in terms of these applications. Any of these you could use with a stick, but I want to kind of showcase where and when you might want to use these. Okay. Whoops, that's not good. Okay. Yeah, that's tiny. Okay, so if we look at, and again, this would be way easier with an actual person here, right? This is going to be an offensive use of this angle. We're both here. Right now, this is just going to represent this guy's arm, somewhere in here, arm and then weapon as we come into here. And this body position's pretty far in. Okay. So, if I was against a low reference, yes, I can retick that. If I have a blade, though, I just redondo that usually. Sparring-wise, I very seldom will get a retick here. I prefer redondo, especially if I'm thinking that this is a sword. Obviously, I want to get my edge into play. So I'm going to give you different examples than that. So one of the first is one contact retip, okay? So one retip, one. This is kind of a feint. I'm actually not seeking contact there. Feint, offline. This is now going down to hit to the arm, or if you're deep enough to the temple, right? So if I got that far in, I could go to the temple. I vastly prefer to start working this guy's arm before anything else. Here, elbow would be the appropriate, because this guy's arm is doing something like this right now. So here, I should do this left hand so you guys can see now. Here, turn, right? Get down to the elbow, here, and then cut as I come through. So here, fake, Adamico, cut. Fake, Adamico, cut. Here, kind of a little jab step here. Get my offline step, this is my reverse triangle. Roots it down to the elbow, cut. Here, jab, roots it, cut. And this is a drive-by. I'm not going to stay around and re-engage here. You could, right, if I want to go jab here and enter, you could absolutely do that. because it's theoretically this guy's arms coming down this way. You're going to see a lot of techniques when I'm teaching that I'm not entering into grappling. If I brought down some of my guys here who are good grapplers, they will choose to enter all the time. So you're going to see a bias in technique from me that's all about staying outside and whacking them with my sword, as opposed to crashing into the grappling range. I'm going to bring down like Jim or Ben or Randy, and we'll talk about have them actually teach the class and about entering and crashing. But for this one, you're getting my bias, which is stay the outside and hit you with my sword. Okay, so here, here, and back to number one. So we're here, fake hit. Here, pop, pop. Here, fake, push it. Here, fake, you take. Again, you can go deeper with this. Okay, temple shot here, cut. And maybe if this was a stick, I'd do that because there's less danger of this hand coming back if I'm at close range and if that's a stick compared to if they've got a machete. So those are just sort of the tactical considerations to think of right here. Look at this motion and cut. So super simple application. Enter, retick, cut. And then I was doing it facing you here. Cut, or cut. Here, fake, retick, cut. Okay, now the next one is actually very similar. It doesn't go for an actual strike with this hand. It's actually mostly a feint, and it doesn't require closing because I'm actually not trying to engage this way. So what happens is, I want to draw that four-wall block, that block that we first saw, or I want to draw their own number one to sort of meet that. I want them to bias and try to pick off my hand, as they see this coming. So what I'll do here is I come in, I'm going to show them this, okay? And again, because this is a feint, you have to have set this up earlier. You can't do this right off the bat. You have to give them a little bit of like, oh, this is how I fight. And again, a lot of these are going to be predicated on, like, I'll start this with 1, 2, and just give them some power in the beginning to, like, hey, oh, that's worrisome. But maybe they think they can get some timing off of that, right? I'm gonna zone off line, right? If I'm seeing this power 1 come back and here, I'm gonna zone off line, or I'm gonna pick that hand as that line comes in from that, right? So now you've shown them 1, 2. Now you go feint, okay? And this is not what we just did, this full abanico hit. I'm feint here. What I'm using, and this is actually easier to do with a heavier blade, is I feint and I'm doing a vertical, right? Remember this one? A vertical retick. When you do that and you're casting this, what I'm not doing is what I did in the first technique was cast forward and go down, and I kept my hand forward, okay? What's happening here is I cast forward, and then before I get there, I start this, and that pulls this out of line. This is actually now taking us into almost like the Floette family of maneuvers as we do this. But so I cast, and right about here, I go retick, and that actually pulls my hand out of alignment, right? If you look where the path of where my hand was going, like ideally they want to intercept me in here. So here, it raises above that. And so it raises above that here, and now I do my number 1 again. And now I'm picking out to the outside of the arm. So it is show, filete, I mean re-kick, cut, or fanning motion, cut. This one I might do jab step, and this is an appel or a fake, right? A little stomp to make them think, bang, that's coming. So what do they see? They see my foot come up like, hey, here comes this. And I'm actually not maneuvering. I want them to try to intercept my hand. So we go here, they see this, bang, right? So, so again, I'm not trying to get all the way into the head there. That's here, up, and down. Okay, I'm going to change view so I can actually see comments. Okay, no questions. Okay, so again, once again, and I'm only going to do this on the right-hand side. You guys can do this on the left, on your own time. Okay, so feint, here, and cut as we cut into it. Here, and cut. Here, and cut. Okay, so the two sort of fighting techniques that we've gone over tonight are the fake, deep step in, right? And then the number 1. So fake, elbow or temple, depending on where that goes. Finish that out. Or the fake here, pull your hand out of the way, and in. Here, to give you 2 versions of that. Okay, so really quick, that's going to take obviously some timing. If I had a partner here, we'd sort of run through that, but we don't. So I'm going to just leave it at that for sort of the fighting technique and application of that. Does anyone have any questions I can go over? It doesn't have to be on exactly what we covered right now on this. And I'll wait as the the delay comes through. This is saying unable to connect with chat. That's not good. Well, okay. So if there is no chat connection, then I don't really see how we can do a question answer period. Let's go ahead and we'll kick that off till next week, and we'll call it good. So sorry it ended on a no questions note. I wasn't meaning to ignore your questions, and we'll call that good. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. If not, or if you have any other questions, go ahead and hit me on Facebook or whatever, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys. See you next week. And again, I want to keep this going. We'll do it next Wednesday. Thank you.